If you've clicked on this video, you probably know what the Minecraft mob vote is and the whole argument about it. But in case you don't, here's a quick summary. For a few years now, Minecraft has held a vote, starting as a mob vote, then becoming a biome vote for a while, and then once again becoming a mob vote. These votes gave players 3 options, or 4 in the first one, where they can vote which one is added to the game. This year, some of the players have decided that getting only one option isn't enough. That's pretty much what's going on. But before I give my own insight into the debate, I think it's best if I cover both sides' standpoints. While I'll wait until later in the video to share my opinion, to keep this section fair, I've asked friends of mine to summarize why they think the opposite. And I've looked around online spaces so I can use those points in the corresponding section. First, I'll be covering the side that is spreading like wildfire at the moment, which is to add all 3 options. I'll start with the most controversial take of the bunch, which is that Mojang are getting lazy. There are over 600 employees at that multi-million-dollar company that is owned by one of the largest tech companies in the world, so they should be able to add features and mobs at a record pace. Especially since independent mod makers can add mobs, features, and structures in weeks or less. But I must add that not everyone who thinks all 3 mobs should be added feel this way. Most people who want the full roster of mobs to be added agree on one thing though, that leaving these ideas on the table and unused is a waste, showing players what they could have only to never add it, instead of just adding it at a later date. Or they could even set aside a whole update to add all of the features from previous votes. I think the idea to add a bunch or all of these options in an update centered around it is an idea that would please both sides for the most part, even if they prioritize the ones that win the vote and add those sooner. I would like to credit my friend Captain Chimney for that idea, link in the description. Now on to the other side of the issue. The people who think that adding just one mob is enough each year. The biggest point of this side of the argument is based around time, similarly to the other side. People who agree with this opinion bring up quality over quantity, which has always been a major theme in Minecraft updates. With so many existing features, adding new content in a way that interacts with everything else correctly continues to be more and more of a tricky task. What makes this more complicated is the bigger your group, which in this case is quite large, the longer it takes for decisions to be made. Having to go through multiple people for everything slows the process down substantially. Additionally, this side sees the mob votes as good for Minecraft as a community. It stirs up a lot of hype and discussion of the game, but that's apparent since you're here watching this video, which is meant to discuss the game. Getting people talking every year about the game for the mob vote right before their announcements for the year is great for the health of the game, though it could also be argued that it divides the player base. Though it is absolutely good for Mojang as a game company. Along with this, the mob vote can serve as a way for the developers to see what the players want, even if it may not be as apparent at first. Such as this year, we see options that are centered around building, combat, and exploration. Getting an idea of what wins the mob vote could help guide their decisions for what to prioritize when designing upcoming features. Well, that's our 2 sides. Before I weigh in with my personal opinions, I'd like to take a second to give a few last notes. First of all, I welcome discussion of this debate in my comments section, but please keep it respectful. I've seen so much rudeness and hatred on this issue online, and it just kills honest conversation. Regardless of if you agree or disagree with me or anyone else, remember that they are entitled to their own opinion, and there's a human on the other side of the screen. Speaking of humans on the other side of the screen, I'm a human as far as you know, and little internet points bring me eternal joy. So if you've been enjoying this video, go subscribe. Also, if you want to discuss this further, there's a link to my Discord server in the description. Okay, time for my personal opinion. I think that one choice is enough for the mob vote. Honestly, I love the discussion and debate around the mob vote each year, though much less this year because of how the community has devolved. While I've already covered my opinion in the section where I talked about that side of the argument, I have a few last things I'd like to bring to the table that I haven't seen many people talking about. First, the options that aren't chosen aren't actually scrapped. They've actually said this in the past. Now, the very first mob vote, the options were scrapped, but naturally people didn't like this, so they changed it. The other options are just put on the back burner until they have a spot where they fit better. While we haven't seen many of these options join later updates, the 2019 Biome Vote Swamp option was added in the Wild update. In that option we were offered frogs, mangroves, and chest boats. Plus, even one of the options that we were told would be scrapped, which is the wildfire as we now know it, was actually added to Minecraft Dungeons. So don't worry if the option you want loses. It may not be added now, but they have it for later. Lastly, there is only so much time and effort to go around. With such a large team, yes, you can brute force things, but when it comes to fine-tuning, things get slow. If they were to add 3 new mobs every mob vote, that would cut into the amount of work that can go into the main updates. Now I'd like to thank It's Disco Creeper and Mad Flame and Duck, as well as Captain Chimney, for the help with this video, since I needed to talk to people with a different opinion to see both sides. I would encourage you to try and see both sides in this issue, as well as other issues in real life. Since, at the end of the day, Minecraft is a video game. It's my favorite game, and I have tens of thousands of hours in it. But it's still a game. Thank you for watching. There are links in the description to the people who helped with the arguments in this video, as well as links to my Discord and other stuff. Also, vote crab. I need to build a scaffold less and place blocks better.